In today's show, I shall be showing you around Wenchang, taking in the Southeast Asian architectural style in Puqian's old town.
富前老街的最有代表性的，也是最漂亮的部分，就是女儿香。
Visiting the illustrious Han family's former residence, also built in the Southeast Asian style.
这些柱子非常的有特色哈。
这个是结合的泰国的元素，融入了这个建筑里面。
And looking around the historical Xibei Academy, situated on the grounds of today's Wenbei Middle School.
哦哇哦，走进来就感觉走进了历史里哈，非常古朴的感觉。
So join me in today's show and find out more about the architecture and history of Wenchang.
Whether learning from private tutors in ancient times or studying in public schools in the modern day, the Chinese have always held teachers and education in extremely high regard. The name Wenchang in Chinese means culture, Wen, and Chang means prosperous. Wenchang gained its name due to its cultural superiority thanks to its citizens' esteem and reverence for learning.
Just a few weeks ago, I was here in Wenchang and visited the Confucian Temple and the Song family residence. This time, I am back to take a deeper look at this culturally significant city and to uncover more about the people, culture, and history of Wenchang.
I'm standing outside of Wenbei Middle School in Wenchang's Puqian Township. In a corner of this school is one of Hainan's 4 great academies, Xibei Academy, the precursor to Wenbei Middle School.
Built in 1893, Xibei Academy occupies a sizable area. It is regarded as one of the best preserved Qing dynasty building complexes in Hainan. Shen Wenlue, the deputy head teacher, knows Xibei Academy inside out.
我看你们地方的名字就是西北书院哈。我去过东坡书院哈，我知道东坡书院的名字就是从苏东坡的名字而来的哈。那咱们这里这个西北书院的名字呢？
西北书院的命名是以地理方位来命名的。福建有一条溪呢叫朱溪河，书院在这个朱溪河的北边，所以呢就叫西北书院。
很有意思，我看你们这个地方非常有特色，我们能不能去参观一下？
那我们到里面看一下吧。
哦哇哦，走进来就感觉走进了历史里哈，非常古朴的感觉啊。而且我发现，这里雕刻了很多东西哈，
雕刻了一些花、动物吧，还有龙在上面，也是为了体现对教育的重视。
In traditional Chinese architecture, the beauty of axial symmetry is highly regarded. This is reflected clearly in Xibei Academy's layout.
这个院子也我发现哈，左边跟右边设计一样的哈，是不是这种经典的这种四合院的感觉？
是的，这里呢是头门，中间这部分呢是讲堂，后面那个是金正楼，东廊、西廊，还有这个两边的厢旁。他们就围绕起来，形成一个四合院这种方式，
非常漂亮。
在讲堂的这边呢，有一个记录时间的一个仪器呢，叫日晷。
日晷这个词儿我真不知道，但是我好像见过类似的东西。
上面是有12个刻度，表示12个时辰。太阳照下来，这个影子掉在什么刻度上，它就是什么时间。
我看上面写的字，那是什么字呢？
有几块地方都有字。上面这里写这个是东经20度03分，也是我们书院这个位置。下面写的是寸烟如金，表示这个要珍惜观音的意思。也是现在就告诫我们的学子啊，或者老师们呢，都要珍视时间。
The trees over the sundial have also been symmetrically planted, layer upon layer of leaves and branches intertwined with each other, covering almost the whole courtyard. Not only do these boughs offer respite from the intense sun, they have also borne witness to the Academy's century-long history.
那这个地方就是我们以前学生上课的地方，那老师们呢就在上面上课，就坐在这里面向学生讲课。
我看在我们背后这里有写的讲堂哈。
你看这2个字呢，可能你就没多大的感受。这2个字呢是我们书院很珍贵的一个文物，当时书院的创始人潘存公手书写的。
During the Ming and Qing dynasties, distinguished individuals from Hainan would often return to their places of birth in later life and build academies or set up schools. Pan Cun was one of them.
他是一个非常聪明的一个人， 7岁呢，他就上那个西蜀了。在12、13岁的时候呢，他就能够来写文章了，因为他是2次守孝在家，所以呢，他34岁他就考中举人。
Pan Suan served in the capital as a government official until the age of 66, when he retired and returned to Hainan. Pan Suan realized that only education could help to rejuvenate China, and it was for this reason that he opened Xibei Academy.
潘存公呢，在创办书院的时候呢，投入了他的全部的心思。我们看这个讲堂的讲字，本来是应该有3横在上面的，它是有意为之的。表示老师们呢传道授业的过程中呢，又有讲不完的人生道理，讲不完的科学文化。因为你不知道你有没有注意啊？我们这个讲字的这种写法呢，在我们书院呢，它不止一个地方。在刚才我们建这个头门的时候呢，那个上面写那个西北书院，那个书字呢，构思这种写法呢是一样的。它同样也是少了1横
那有什么寓意呢？
对于我们学生来讲呢，有学不完的书，学不完的科学文化，也是告诫我们的这个学生呢，要循序渐造。
原来如此。其实我们英国人也非常重视谦虚哈。我们还有一个谚语，我们经常说 "Humility often gains more than pride"。那翻译成中文，这个大概就是谦逊往往比骄傲的收益更多。
中西的教育的一些理念应该是相通的，
对，
优秀的文化呢都是相同的嘛。
是的。
因为我们看一下这个是金正楼，我们往那边走，到上面看嘛。
好
这个呢就是金正楼，是以前藏书的地方，也相当于图书馆嘛。我们学校呢在80年代到90年代的时候，都还在使用，在2楼就是我们学校的图书馆。
The design of the main building is rather different from the other 2 Chinese-style buildings, which had sadly been damaged by typhoons. In the 1920s, many Chinese decided to come back from Southeast Asia and settle in Hainan, and a number of Southern Asian elements was added during the building's subsequent restoration.
这个书院的创建过程中，潘存公在朝之基金的时候呢，也是得到了这个两广总督张之洞和这个雷琼道台朱彩他们的大力支持，还有潘存公可以说是把他的全部身家也投进去了，所以这个书院呢才得以完成。
Xibei Academy is where Pan Suan's lifelong dreams and wishes lie. In his autumn years, Pan Suan returned home and made efforts to bring education to the local people. He hoped that his students would keep in mind at all times that the purpose of study was to benefit one's physical and mental well-being, as well as to serve one's family, one's country, and the world. The original motto of this seasoned old school is still remembered today by pupils at Wenbei Middle School, who are staying true to Pan Suan's original aspirations. That Xibei Academy resembles a Southeast Asian building lies in the fact that many Wenchang natives used to make their livings in this part of the world.
This is Puqian Harbour, and behind me is Haiwan Bridge. The town of Puqian is located just a 20-minute car ride away from Haikou. The 1930s were a time of great prosperity for Puqian. A saying from the time went thusly: "You've not seen busy until you've seen Puqian busy," indicating the bustling affluence of Puqian. Merchant ships would sail from here to Southeast Asia, which gave Puqian a standing in the world as a significant trading port.
The Chongzhou Strait lies to the north of Puqian, with the South China Sea located to the east. A magnificent bay provides favourable traffic channels on land and in water for the ships passing through, which made Puqian the main port through which overseas Chinese would leave Hainan for Southeast Asia. According to records, in the late Qing dynasty and early days of the Republic of China, more than 100,000 Hainan people left for Southeast Asia every year. This 100-year-old street leading from the port has witnessed Puqian's great bygone prosperity. Elements of Southeast Asia and overseas Chinese can be found everywhere along the street. Zhang Guangnong, who was born and raised here, knows Puqian like the back of his hand.
江老师好。
How are you? I'm going to see you.
I'm fine, nice to see you too.
现在带你去找我们百年的复兴的老街。
可以啊，来我们走吧。
这个老街大多数的建筑都是上世纪20年代基本上形成了这条老街。这个是一条，那边还有一条， 这个老街它是弯弯曲曲的，
对，我看这边是一眼就望不到头呢。
弯弯曲曲的。当时一些商人做生意的就讲把这个街搞成不要一眼看到海，看到海那个财呢就流到海了，就不能聚财了。
哦，这个意思。
In the 1920s, it was common for many Hainan people who had gone to Southeast Asia to find fortune to come back and invest in their hometowns. They also brought with them the Qilo arcade style of architecture back to Wenchang. The Qilo design provides shelter from the rain as well as cooling breezes. Putian's old street embodies a strong Southeast Asian style, combining Chinese and Western elements.
文昌把小回来建筑这个房子，也体现出他们的智慧。因为我们这里是台风比较多，一台风多些海水就涨潮，为了这个交通的方便，那个船会开到这个街上，所以好多柱就做一个铁环，铁环固定这个船有这个作用，但是比较少的。
哇，这个水就会涨到这里面了。
会涨到。
Although the buildings along the old street resemble Southeast Asian architecture, many details still reflect Chinese aesthetics. On the pillars running along the ground floor, one can see some simplistic Chinese frame patterns. On the first floor, traditional Chinese embossed patterns are carved on the window lintel. The most beautiful component of Qilo has to be the so-called Daughter's Wall, a parapet at the very top.
富前老街的建筑的艺术还是比较讲究，最有代表性的也是最漂亮的部分就是女儿墙。
那为什么叫女儿墙呢？
女儿墙就是当时女孩子呢一般就少出门的，所以我要看外面的世界，所以在那个楼顶上做一些花纹，做一些图案，有缝的，它可以看到外面的世界，也满足了女孩子的心愿。再一个还有一个烟囱，为了防台风。
怎么防台风？
那个风一来就会从里面吹过嘛。
就通过那个洞就会减少这个压力，是吧？
减少压力啊。
对，就是根据这个地域气候的这个特色来设计这个建筑物哈。
Qilo-style buildings were designed to improve living conditions and gradually became a venue used both for business and housing. The layout makes the Qilo-style buildings suitable for a range of activities, including running a shop, drinking tea while chatting with your friends, or simply escaping from the heat underneath the arches of the arcade.
这个就是我们富前的比较有特色的地方小吃，也流传了至少几百年了，叫做糟粕树。我们去里面
也是老字号，可以啊，来我们走吧。
Zao Zu, literally translated as dross vinegar, is a traditional snack in Putian. Grains left over from the distilling process are collected and fermented and form the base for the soup, with vegetables, seaweed and crab eggs added later on, and it is served with chili, sugar and minced garlic. It exudes a spicy, vinegary and slightly sweet flavour and is eaten both as an appetizer and as a main meal.
有一点酸味，
酸甜。
Well, that is a very interesting flavour. The first spoonful, the first taste is really quite strong and it sort of hits you. I wasn't expecting such a kick. It's very vinegary. It's as though they put about, I don't know, half a bottle of malt vinegar in it. But it's nice because it's balanced then with the salt. Apparently that comes from the fact that here is so humid in Wenchang that they need to put a lot of salt in food because you sweat so much. And also, because we're by the sea, there's a lot of seaweed in it. That's one of the key ingredients too. But apparently you can put anything in here. There's all kinds of meats and seafoods and vegetables and all kinds of things you can put in this dish to make it your own.
Zao Zu is not the only local delicacy in these parts. Lao Ba tea, a custom brought back from Southeast Asia, is also popular in Wenchang.
这个是富前的一家比较老牌的老巴茶。
我看上去非常美味。那为什么叫喇叭茶？
老巴茶是以往的人对这个老人的尊重，经常请他们喝茶。
我感觉这个红茶再配个面包，特别像我们西欧啊、英国的这种习俗。
老巴茶这种形式呢，原来也是从西方引进到东南亚，在东南亚的华侨，他就把这种茶文化呢，就引进到我们家乡。
但是为什么开始那么多海南人是到南洋去生活呢？
因为海南这些地方地比较平，好像文昌就最典型啊，为了生存，那就下南洋了。
Wenchang people who set up home abroad have a reputation for being assiduous and conscientious. After having become prosperous, most would return home and share their affluence with their home communities.
有些农村的建筑也非常有特色，建筑风格也是从东南亚引进来，很多很有代表性。
我一定要去看，一定要去看
很有味道的啊。
Located in the northeast of Hainan, Wenchang is surrounded on 3 sides by sea. Due to its unique location, local people have been traveling to Southeast Asia ever since the Ming Dynasty. The overseas Chinese originating in Wenchang number as many as 1 million. Hardworking and diligent, Wenchang people who had made their fortunes overseas still cared deeply about their hometowns. They would return with riches and glories and build grand mansions on their old homesteads. The Han family residence in Wenchang's Fuzhai village is one such example.
哎，我看咱们这个老宅子特别有特色，很漂亮啊。
老宅呢，它是旅居泰国的这个文昌人，叫韩清准，是1936年出重资打造的。2013年评为这个国家重点文物保护单位。我们一起进去看看。
可以啊，好啊。
The Han family residence follows a traditional Hainan layout, with infusions from both mainland China and Hainan, as well as elements from the West, and it is considered a typical representation of Hainan's overseas Chinese buildings.
哇，这里面好高，也很大，有多少个房间呢？
我们这个房间呢是4房1个厅，这个房梁挺高的，它5.88米，作为这个隔热的。风一进来，我们就感觉很舒服，很凉爽。
我看你这里的地板也非常的漂亮哈，是当年铺的吗？感觉很有历史感呢。
韩清准先生他从泰国那边运回来的。
我看你们这个房子有很多不同的什么古老的元素啊，像这个木头雕刻的非常的精致哈。
是的，是的，他这个都是请了这个工匠啊来进行雕刻。
哎，你看我一眼能看到底啊哈，我真没见过这样的房子哈。是不是一阵风一来就会非常的凉爽？就是你们中国人所叫的穿堂风，是不是？
是的，是的，因为我们这个海南呢，夏天的天气比较炎热，所以呢，把这个房屋这样子建造啊，气流就容易风从那边灌，我们就感觉很凉爽。然后呢，我们这个房屋的建设啊，主次分明，最上面那个是父母住的，哦，然后到这个长子，
有一个顺序，一个排序，哦，很有意思。哎，这里有一个阁楼啊。
对，这个阁楼呢是客人来了，可以在那面品这个茶，眺望远方。我们上去看一下吧。
可以啊，太棒了，你先吧。
好的，小心啊，过来。
哦，这个视野很好，我们能看到整个这个老宅子的这个布局哈。你看1、2、3，哎，但我看前面那里有一排房子嘛。
这个一排房子叫横屋，它里面一共有16间，是用于客人来的居住。以及杂物房，还有就是厨房。
This house is arranged in a typical northern Hainan fashion, which means the house stretches out along a single vertical axis, forming many layers.
我去过很多中国这种古老的建筑哈，我知道都以这个轴对称为美哈，但是这里按道理，这边有一排，那边也应该有一排哈，怎么没有呢？
对，整体来看，这边有一排，那边有一排的话，感觉是一个轿子一样。然后人住在里面呢，像一个轿夫，所以像干苦力活，这只是一个说法。然后主要呢还是用于这个通风跟采光。
This house does not simply showcase Hainan's local culture. Owner Han Qinjun also cleverly incorporated the family history and Thai culture into the construction.
我觉得这些柱子非常的有特色哈。
这个是结合的这个泰国的元素。泰国呢又是佛教国，有这些莲花，所以它就融入了这个建筑里面。
哦，每个柱子上面都有是吧？哇，很有意思。哎，这个壁画很漂亮啊。
我们先去看一下吧。
这个应该是翻修过吧？我看那个颜色特别的鲜亮啊。
这个没有翻修过，因为我们的居民的绘制这个图画是我们琼北的一种风格，至今已经200多年了。
House wall paintings are mostly seen in northern areas of Hainan, especially in Wenchang. For many homeowners, the house was not considered finished without wall paintings. The theme and scale of the wall paintings are both tokens of the wealth and social status of the home's owners.
你看到了吗？那个上面的几个字叫元兴利火炬厂，那个是韩清准先生在泰国办了一个厂， 他是那里的厂长。
哦，他是企业家。哎，那火炬厂是做什么呢？
哦，火炬厂啊，它主要是经营木材生意。韩家宅的老宅啊，它主要的这些木材都是从它的厂这边运回来的。
我看他前面画的一条河，说不定就是沿着这条河的运过来的。工厂的这个规模这么大的，怪不得咱们这个韩家宅也这么大哈。
Han Chin-jun made his fortune by opening timber factories in Thailand. Recreating the image of the factories in his home meant more than just flaunting his wealth. As an overseas Chinese who had been away for many a year, he wanted his successors above all to remember his hard work and perseverance.
Coming to Wenchang again, dropping by an old school, strolling through the old quarter, and paying a visit to the Han family residence have all given me a strong sense of how much Wenchang people respect knowledge and cultivation, as well as their efforts to pass on the best of Chinese traditions. The local people are wise and hardworking, and Wenchang really is unrivaled in spirit and talent. So come for yourselves and wander through the streets and alleyways at your leisure and experience for yourselves the ancient charms of Wenchang.
这里是海南卫视。